Imagine a book, just a biography, nothing supernatural, no magic, no wild conspiracy, just the story of a man's life, written down in black and white. You might expect it to be dry, maybe even a little boring, the kind of book you'd find gathering dust in a library. But in one country, simply owning this book could land you in prison. Not for violence, not for inciting a riot, but for reading. The book is called The King Never Smiles, and the country is Thailand, a place where the written word can be as dangerous as any weapon. Why does a simple biography spark such fear and controversy? What makes this book so threatening that it must be hidden away? In Thailand, the monarchy isn't just a symbol, it's the foundation of national identity, woven into the fabric of everyday life. The king is revered, almost sacred, and questioning the monarchy is unthinkable for many. For decades, King Bhumibol was seen as a semi-divine father figure, the glue holding the country together. His image is everywhere, from coins to classrooms, and his story is told in carefully chosen words. The King Never Smiles dares to question that glue, examining the real power behind the throne, and challenging the official narrative that has shaped a nation's beliefs for generations. In Thailand, even reading about this book can be risky. People whisper about it, share it in secret, and hide it from prying eyes, knowing that curiosity alone can be dangerous. That's the power of words, to turn a historian into a criminal, a reader into a conspirator. In a place where ideas are policed, a book can be a threat to the status quo. This is about more than a king. It's about who controls the story of a nation, who gets to decide what is remembered and what is erased from history. The battle isn't just over a book, but over history itself. When a story is banned, it's not just the author who is silenced, but an entire conversation about truth and power. In a world overflowing with information, Thailand's ban is a stark reminder. Freedom of information isn't universal. Some stories are still locked away, out of reach for those who need them most. People have gone to jail for far less than sharing a chapter from this book. Even a careless comment online can lead to years behind bars. The monarchy's image is so fiercely protected that questioning it is seen as an attack on the nation itself. Dissent is not just discouraged, it's criminalized. The King Never Smiles dares to ask, what if the official story isn't the whole truth? What if there's more to the past than what's allowed to be told? That's why it's banned, whispered about, and passed around in secret. It's not just a book, it's a symbol of forbidden knowledge and the courage to seek it. And that's why we need to talk about it, because sometimes the most dangerous stories are the ones we're told never to read. Thailand's monarchy is unique, never colonized, credited with protecting the nation's sovereignty. The kings of the Chakri dynasty are seen as the living embodiment of Thainess. King Bhumibol, or Rama IX, wasn't supposed to be king, but after his brother's mysterious death, he reigned for 70 years. His image was everywhere. Homes, shops, billboards, even before movies. The palace carefully crafted his image as a compassionate, hard-working, development king. Newsreels showed him trekking through villages, launching projects, and connecting with ordinary people. This narrative built a deep emotional bond between king and country. Questioning the king isn't just political, it's seen as an attack on the nation itself. The King Never Smiles challenged this sacred image, daring to tread on forbidden ground. That's why the reaction was so swift and severe. In Thailand, the king's story is the nation's story. In Thailand, the monarchy's image is not just revered, it is fiercely protected by one of the world's most draconian laws, lèse-majesté. This law stands as a shield around the royal family, making any perceived slight a matter of grave consequence. Article 112 of Thailand's criminal code is infamous. It punishes anyone who defames, insults, or threatens the king, queen, heir, or regent with up to 15 years in prison, per offense. The law's reach is sweeping and its penalties are severe, making it one of the harshest of its kind anywhere in the world. The law is terrifyingly vague. Even something as simple as liking or sharing a critical post online can land you in jail. Social media, once a space for open discussion, becomes a minefield where a single misstep can have life-altering consequences. The boundaries are so unclear that one man was prosecuted for allegedly insulting the king's dog. The law's ambiguity means almost anything can be interpreted as an offense. The real effect is fear. Self-censorship becomes the norm. People lower their voices in public, avoid discussing the monarchy even in private, and watch their words carefully, knowing that anyone could be listening. After military coups, lèse-majesté charges skyrocket. The law is used as a tool to silence critics, activists, and political opponents, stifling dissent and consolidating power. Anyone can file a complaint, making the law a weapon in personal vendettas or political rivalries. The threat of accusation hangs over everyone, fueling a climate of suspicion and mistrust. The accused are often denied bail, facing near-certain conviction in a system where the presumption of innocence is all but absent. Many spend months, even years, behind bars awaiting trial. The message is clear: do not talk about the monarchy. The chilling effect extends to the media, academia, and even private conversations. The King Never Smiles didn't just break a taboo. It challenged a law that makes criticism legally radioactive. The book's publication was a direct affront to the system of enforced silence. It dared to discuss the king as a political actor, not a deity, offering a rare, unvarnished look at the monarchy's role in Thai society and politics. In Thailand, that's not just controversial, it's dangerous. Speaking out can mean exile, imprisonment, or worse. The book's very existence is an act of defiance, a symbol of resistance against a law that demands silence and punishes curiosity. So what's in The King Never Smiles that's so dangerous? Written by journalist Paul Handley, it's the first comprehensive unauthorized biography of King Bhumibol in English. Published by Yale University Press in 2006, it was banned in Thailand before it even hit the shelves. Handley argues the king was not just a benevolent father, but a deeply political monarch who allied with the military to consolidate power. The book explores the mysterious death of Bhumibol's brother, the king's relationships with dictators, and his role in coups. It paints the king as the ultimate power broker, not a passive symbol. For the Thai establishment, this was heresy, a direct threat to the royalist narrative. The book suggests the king's power was built on political maneuvering, not divine right. For a system built on the king's perfection, this was an existential threat. The only response: silence it completely. To understand the book's claims, let's take a rapid-fire journey through the key moments of modern Thai history. This whirlwind tour will help us see how the past shapes the present and why the monarchy's role is so fiercely debated. After the end of absolute monarchy in 1932, Thailand was dominated by military strongmen. Yet, over the decades, King Bhumibol's influence steadily grew, often working hand in hand with the army. The monarchy and military became deeply intertwined, shaping the nation's direction together. In 1973, a massive student uprising shook Bangkok. The king stepped in dramatically, meeting with student leaders and helping to install a democratic government. This act cemented his image as a benevolent protector and a stabilizing force in times of turmoil. But the optimism didn't last. Chaos, political violence, and fear of communism led to the tragic 1976 Thammasat University massacre. Another military coup soon followed, apparently with the palace's blessing, plunging the country back into authoritarian rule. In 1992, violent street protests erupted once again. The king intervened publicly, summoning both protest and military leaders. His actions ended the crisis, and he was widely hailed as the nation's savior, reinforcing his revered status. The King Never Smiles, however, suggests the palace played a far more complex, behind-the-scenes role in these crises than most Thais realize. The book argues that royal influence was often subtle, strategic, and not always as benevolent as it appeared. The cycle of political crisis, military coups, and royal endorsement is repeated again and again, well into the 21st century. Each time, the monarchy's involvement is both visible and shrouded in mystery. Handley argues this isn't accidental. He claims the monarchy and military have managed the country together, often viewing democracy as a threat to their power and stability. This partnership, he says, is at the core of Thailand's political system. This explosive interpretation, challenging the official narrative and questioning the true nature of royal power, is at the very heart of the book, making it both controversial and essential reading for anyone curious about Thailand's modern history. The monarchy's story in Thailand is one of contrasts. On one side, thousands of royal projects that transformed lives, bringing clean water and new crops to remote villages. For many, the king is a real benefactor, not just a symbol. Their loyalty is rooted in lived experience, not propaganda. But there's a darker side: activists, students, and ordinary people imprisoned for minor insults under Article 112. Their lives are shattered for sharing a post or asking a question. These are the stories of silence, of academics fleeing, journalists self-censoring, families afraid to talk politics. For every story of royal progress, there's a counter-story of repression. The King Never Smiles was the first mainstream book to hold both truths at once. In Thailand, palaces and prisons exist side by side. Banning a book in the digital age often backfires. It's called the Streisand effect. The King Never Smiles became legendary after the ban, turning from niche biography to forbidden fruit. Suddenly, everyone wanted to read it. Scanned PDFs spread online, shared on USB sticks, multiplying in the digital shadows. Activists abroad translated it into Thai, reaching a wider audience than ever. For the first time, Thais could read a critical account of their own history. The book gave people a new framework to understand politics and the monarchy. It became a key text for a new generation, fueling a growing counter-narrative. The government's wall around information failed. They created expert wall climbers instead. The attempt to silence the book only made its message louder. What's the legacy of banning The King Never Smiles? You can't control history. Banning a book is like trying to unring a bell. The sound is out there. The ban made the book's thesis more powerful, not less. Open dialogue is essential. A healthy society shouldn't fear its own history. Taboo topics don't disappear. They go underground, unchecked. History is a conversation, not a decree. Banning ends the conversation, replacing debate with fear. The real story isn't just about a king or a book, it's about the universal human desire to understand. True strength comes from facing the truth, not silencing it, because a history that can't be questioned isn't history, it's a myth.